Hi, thank you for coming today. It's actually been 4 years for me for attending last FOSS4G. It was like FOSS4G NA North America in San Diego. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, here's today's agenda. We're gonna talk about how RIOs work and also how RIOs solve the issues of the world. So I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm a co-founder of Eukarya. Eukarya is a company developed RIOs. And I'm based in New York City right now for 3 years. I'm from Japan, Tokyo. My background is like design and engineering, also art science. So what is RIOs? So RIOs is an open source GIS platform that allows you to visualize or analyze every single issues and also without coding. So everyone can use it with no requirement, like install softwares or like knowledge of coding, JavaScript, anything. And also you can use it for making storytelling or the data visualization or data analysis. And sometimes we collaborate with a company like, who has IoT solutions or real-time connection through the sensors installed city. So here's a video, still waiting. Okay. All right, so here's a video that shows how you can control RIOs. So you can see some information on the left side that is kind of like layers of Photoshop. So you can just drag and drop the materials on the map, and you can put the pin, and also you can edit the content of the pin. You can put any like a text or images or videos in it. And also you can put any 3D models like Pikachu's 3D models or other cities 3D models like city GML or like 3D tiles or something like that. You can also change the layers of the tile. For example, if you want to use like your own Mapbox design map, you can also switch it. Then we are developing a feature for switching web engine itself. Right now, we are using CZIM.js for 3D map or 2D maps, but in the future, maybe in this year, we can switch from CZIM to Mapbox or Leaflet or other kind of map engines. So what is the hard thing about the GIS? GIS is, of course, everyone knows like GIS is too complicated. So there are so many requirements or so many knowledges. And also, there are so many departments, the industries we can apply. Also, 3D models, 3D map is more complicated. We have another dimension, and also we have another algorithms to analyze these data sets. Also, it's expensive, I know. So that's why we're focusing on like a more accessible or like more extensible for non-engineer people. So then what leaders can do, we have a bunch of examples that shows, for example, disaster management or city planning or digital twin. I don't want to say the word metaverse, but it's this kind of stuff. And also community development, like citizen engagement stuff. So I'm gonna show you some example here. So this is a disaster management example that shows like the flood situation with time series data. You can see the evacuation route. The green point and green line shows like where you are and also how can you evacuate to the shelter depends on time series data. So the blue polygons show the flood situation. So right now, there is no route to evacuate. So that's why, how fast you gotta escape, that shows. You know, like Japan is famous, I mean, known for disasters like flood, earthquake, or typhoon. So that's why we have a bunch of examples in that way. So we also have a collaboration with company who are developing the robots. And then you can also manipulate robots in the buildings. For example, this one. This shows like a BIM models. BIM is like known for, I mean, like a building construction company. If they want to make a building models, it's more complicated. I mean detail. Like there is a pipe on the ceiling or something. It's kind of different from like a GIS format. But we can also collaborate with this kind of data set in our platform. So it means you can, for example, if the robot is going into the building and also going outside of the building, I mean, for example, on the road or public space. But you know, if you want to do this kind of stuff, you need like two different softwares for now. But you can also use this one, I mean, only one software to build this kind of application. We also have like a citizen engagement example. This is the example like collaborating with Japanese high school or junior high school student, and then they are doing their field work to find some like issues of the cities or town. And then they plot the data set. I'm sorry, it's kind of like hard to see here, but you know, it shows like a bunch of like issues on the of their cities, and also everyone can put without coding. Also, and then we can share the project. I mean, I didn't mention that, but readers can share your project just clicking publish button. And then you can also share the URL to everyone. And then you know, every single citizen can see that, what the issue is. So now we have 50 plus organizations use Re-Earth and also 100 plus project. And we have a Discord community that has more than 400 members there. And we also held a workshop yesterday, and then thank you for coming. Also, you know, they're also joining our members now. I mean, community, yes. So our price for subscription model, like cloud native application, is starting from 6,000 per year. That means like a 500 USD per month. And then you can also use a file storage or plugin system, and also plugin marketplace. The plugin marketplace is for installing other one's plugins, like a WordPress plugin. But if you're an engineer, if you can host yourself, it's free. You know, open source version is also available. So you can go to GitHub, and then you can just download our source code and also Docker file. You can just host your own Re-Earth as well. So there is another example. That is our biggest example, and we also have another booth on the main venue. And it's called Plateau View. Plateau View 2.0 is hosted by Japanese government, Minister of Land Infrastructure and Transportation. And then we have more than like 30 local governments, and they deal with their data set. And Plateau View focuses on like data set. I mean, I can show the video first. So there are a bunch of 3D models with textures. It's all hosted by Japanese government, and it's all free. So you can just install the huge data set, and each building has a metadata. So you can see, for example, like how high the building can stand from flood or earthquake or something like that. Then you can use this one for game or like a flood management or other kind of city development stuff. But this data set, of course, it's huge. So that's why it's kind of hard to manipulate by non-engineer people. But if you use Re-Earth or like our software, you can just drag and drop the data set, or you can just visualize the huge data set. Okay. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a plugin system. The plugin system allows you to develop your own features. For example, like if you want to build your niche idea, but React didn't support that, you can also develop by yourself, or you can ask us to develop our new features. It's kind of like same as a WordPress plugin. And also, the Plato view I showed earlier is also built on our plugin system. So you can do this kind of stuff, like, I mean, almost everything you can do. So we have communities for developers or non-developers. For example, first one is Discord. We have English or Japanese support right now, and then you can ask everything, questions, or you can share your project there to appreciate your work. And also, we have documentation for open source software. You can see how you can use React there. Also, we are contributing open source software, not only React itself. React is also in the GitHub page. And also, we have another open source softwares. Here, I showed one of the examples. Here, it's called Resume. If you're a React developer and Cesium developer, you can use this library for wrapping Cesium on React. It already have 500 stars, and then yeah, I'm so glad to share this, because like I also made this by myself. So we have a bunch of ecosystem. It includes like a future ecosystem as well, but we have a CMS right now, and also plugin marketplace. Also, we are building a switching feature of the map engine, like from Mapbox or Cesium or MapTitle, etc. And then we are also making the AR solution. So for example, if you put this any 3D models on the map, you can also see the actual model size in real life when you go there. And we are looking for people or organization or company who want to share your data set or plugins on React system. So just let me know if you want to do this. So how React works, it's the technology part. So we have this kind of ecosystem. So I'm going to introduce one by one. So we use TypeScript and React and Golang for languages. So TypeScript and React is used for front end and also UI design. And TypeScript can allows us to develop a huge project like this one. Also, Golang is also the fast languages for backend. And then, of course, we use Cesium. We're just selected as a Cesium certified developer last month. And yeah, so that's why we have a bunch of Cesium professional engineers in our company. So we are kind of focusing on Cesium right now, but not only Cesium in the future. So we also use a GraphQL that is not SQL, but it's kind of like an API for calling the dataset from database without scheme, and also being able to request only the necessary portion of the complex dataset or nested dataset in a single request. That is super nice. And also, you don't need to call like unnecessary dataset in one request. We use MongoDB for database, and it's NoSQL database, easy to scale. RIOS has a complex data schema, but it depends on what you want to do. So that's why we chose this kind of like a NoSQL schema database, no schema database. Also, infrastructure part, we have a Docker system, so that allows you to scale your infrastructure or connectability. You can also duplicate at the same environment, super easy, and also it's light. We also use the OpenID Connect for authentication system. We use JOT token for token encoding and the signature mechanism. We also support this OpenID Connect as well. And here's a big thing, this is a WebAssembly. WebAssembly allows you to develop your plugin with safe and light and fast. So I'm gonna introduce about plugins more later. So the previous issue of RIOS was, like a no-code tool looks or sounds super nice, but sometimes it's kind of like, too simple to solve your problem. So it's not perfect, I know. But, we would like to expand that kind of features with plugin system. So plugin system allows you to develop your own feature. That means you can, develop your niche idea. So, but the plugin system is, saying this kind of stuff is easy, but developing this is too hard. So what we did is, thinking about our plugin system, and also there is a system called QuickJS. There is a library, QuickJS EM scripting. It's a WebAssembly library that allows you to use WebAssembly on the web browsers. But it's kind of like a low-level API. It's not for us. So that's why we made our own open source library. It's called QuickJS Encryption Sync. And then we use the system for plugin system, and then we released the plugin system 2021. So now you can see the plugin system on plugin marketplace or on RIOS. So how plugin works? So you can see the models that shows like how RIOS deal with the plugin system. So the RIOS front end get the source code from RIOS server, and then QuickJS dissolve the content of the plugin and it return to the front end. Then also we use like an iframe for describing the data set, describing the plugin. For example, if you have your own UI on RIOS, you can also build this with plugin system, and you can talk between CZIM, or like a map side or an UI side, and you can connect the data set as well. So yeah, today I want to talk about why we need a no-code and WebGIS. So we have a bunch of developers in our team, where they are also from, country who it's kind of extreme situation. Like these three guys are from Syria, and they are still there, but they're not. They are refugees, but they are so super good engineers. But it's kind of hard to contact. Hard to reach this kind of tools. There are so many restrictions. So that's why why we are developing the RIOS is we want to reach this kind of open source software for extreme people. For example, like refugees or single parents or something. And also Nocode allows you to develop or participate this kind of developing or creating a content with it. So it's not like just an open source software. It's called like a digital public good. It means it's not only sharing. We also support them with this stuff. So the current work on REARS is we are developing the CMS that allows you to store the complex data set like a GIS stuff. And also we have the REARS flow. REARS flow is like a data conversion and analysis system. It's a GUI system. You can convert that data set from, for example, the complex one like city GML to 3D tiles or something. Also, we are developing the AL system. You can put your URL on the application and you can see your project in real life. And then we have a library with Python library, and that allows you, for example, if you're an engineer or if you're an analyst, you can also use, for example, Jupyter Notebook for analyze your data set. So if you want to use REARS for now, you can just search rears.io, and then you can click top right button. It shows Start Now. You can sign up there.